here so you guys can see. All right, so we're gonna do listings. I did this with Bruce about 2-3 months ago. Ken asked if I wanted to do it again. I'm like, yeah, absolutely. I can jump and help new agents. Like when I first started, and listen, I'm not seasoned completely like the people in these offices here. I am new just like you guys. So, an ability to help Beck in the mastermind class with this guy and his students and coaching program is absolutely an opportunity that I wanted to take, because when I first started and I was going up to Beck's office and I'm like, hey, Beck, can you help me out with this? And the people that were around me was just helping me out. So how my way to pay forward. Hopefully one of you guys can do this for newer agents in a couple months to a couple years from now. So we're gonna do some listing stuff. Right? You guys got the hard part done, right? You guys got them on the phone. Now you're meeting them face to face. What do you do next? What are you doing next? This is what works for me, right? I'll send this out to you guys. You can have the template, you make it your own. But this is what works for me. It may not work for you. I'm gonna just say it like that, but I'm gonna show you what works for me. So we'll start like that. If you guys have questions, throw it in the comments. We'll do that. And okay. Oh, you can't hear me. Okay. Awesome.
She's actually said you're good.
Yep, yeah, I saw that. I saw no. I'm like, oh no, she can't hear me.
I know, I didn't miss signals there.
All right, so here we go. Share my screen. All right. Bam. And what I'll do too is I'm gonna kind of mix around. Like I'm gonna take it as if you guys are the seller and how I do my listing presentation, like you guys as the seller, and we'll just keep it like that. Now, this was a listing I just did well, I'm not gonna tell the address because it's still not, we still didn't go on the market yet. And there's that rare chance that you can outdo me and get the listing. So we won't do that yet. But what I do is, all my listings, what I'll do, and this listing here, I took this photo maybe 20 minutes before I went to their house to do a presentation. So what I'll do is I'll drive by, I take a shot of the house, then I superimpose, okay, you can see my mouse. So I superimpose my for sale sign, and on it, my for sale sign is super, like all my signs are super untraditional. So I put, stop your car, your next home. When it's under contract, I put down under contract, waiting for your new neighbors and stuff like that. So what I do is I superimpose that and I put sold, because what people want to see is their house sold, and I kind of already get that imagination in their head with it. All right, so I put it, who it's for. So this was so I guess I could have put the address, because you can go ahead and just find the person on the tax records. But so I put it who it's from, who it's for and who it's from, and with my information. I put all my own branding. If people know me, I'm big on branding. So I brand everything of mine. So you see that on there. The next page is who am I? Like, who are you working with, right? So obviously I put down my beautiful eyes in the picture. So I put myself in there, who I am, the MLSs that I am a part of, right? Because I'm like, I just want to fill up the page, make it look good. So these are the MLSs I'm a part of, what other states I'm licensed in. Now, some of my background stuff, right? So in the Borough of Dumont, I am the chairman of the Economical Development Committee. I am also a member of the Joint Land Use Board, pretty much the zoning board. And then I put down when my appointment ends, what realtor, Eastern Bergen realtors just like you guys. And this right here is huge. Put down your hobbies, because you want to find a way that, and I'm going to tell you, verbal judo. I'll explain what verbal judo means. But what I do is I find an opportunity where I can connect with somebody, and I use that as like ammunition for myself to attack what I need to attack. So I put down what I volunteer in, right? I've been a firefighter since 2005. I put that in there. I do a lot of stuff with police, firefighters, military. That's why I put down the towns I were a firefighter in. I did the police unity tour. That's a bicycle ride that leaves East Hanover and it goes down to Washington, D.C. It's a 4-day bicycle ride, almost 400 miles. So I put that in there because they may be cyclists. A lot of people in the England Cliffs, Tenafly, closer, they cycle. So I can get a connection off of that. I'm a licensed fire inspector. I also do a lot of stuff with the Special Olympics. And then I put myself in there as the neighborhood seller because that's who I am. I'm the neighborhood seller. Like I look at Nike, I want to be the brand of realtors like Nike's the brand of sneakers, you know? So then I put down here, and these are questions I ask my clients, right? Visualize your dream scenario for selling your home, right? And I let them, the thing, guys, let them talk. This is not all about you. Let them talk. You ask them a question, wait for an answer. When you talk to someone who goes, hey, how's your day? Right? Wait for a response back. Wait for them to say, my day is good, my day is crap. Wait for a response. They want to be heard. So you're going to ask a question, visualize your dream scenario for selling your home. I want to sell my house by the end of June, so when my kids get out of school, we can go relocate to Florida. Now, also, what I do with my listings is I ask questions. And I take the questions that I ask and I build it into my listing presentation so they see it's custom. They know I was listening. Because at the end of the day, they want to make sure that you care. They don't want to look at you as another agent that's just there for the commission. No, they don't want to see that. They want to see you as a humble person that really wants to buy, who really wants to sell their house or whatnot. What is one thing that has to happen to make your dream scenario a reality? I want to go for overlisting by the end of school, and I want to close no later than July 30th so I can get my kids into school and our new home and our new place, right? How can I make that happen? And ask them. And they're going to tell you what they want you to do. Sell my home for top dollar and get us out of the house. We want to be out by this date, right? And I'm going to utilize this information. This right here opens up the doors for questions that you can ask them without them even asking, right? Answering the questions that they're asking, right? What would that do for you? Right? They're going to tell you, well, I want to get into my kid's school. I want to meet the teachers. That's what will make it less stress for me. These, again, I'm opening up the door. And a lot of stuff that I do, guys, right? This right here, oh, you know what I was doing? I was actually looking at you guys in the camera and realized I wasn't sharing the whole screen. So, but I put my family pictures in here. This is my family, right? We want to be powerful. This is a powerful message. So that's why I put that in there. If we could add just one more thing to make this process even better, what would it be? Let them talk. Let them talk. Why is it important to you? Let them answer. So this is what I do, right? Next part. I don't know what happened. Okay. This part here is like, honestly, it's my favorite part. And this is something that I learned from Paul, who used to be a coach, team leader back in, when I first started, it was like 2018, April 2018. And he said it, then I heard Mike say it, and I just love it. So I use it, and I use it in my listing presentations. Communication. If I don't reach out to you when we're supposed to reach out, fire me. A lot of problems that realtors have is just lack of communication. So beat it. Tell them, hey, listen, if I don't communicate with you, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, fire me. And I put them like, hey, listen, this is my house. Knock on my door. If I'm not answering your call, come over to my house and we'll come and talk to you, right? So this is where I tell you, we're going to start getting information from them, use it, right? So this is what to expect. We all know the process of selling a house. Don't assume your client does, right? I don't, because when I bought my house, I was confused. I was scared. My wife and I were getting pissed off at everybody because they expected us to know the buying process. Well, guess what? People never sold a house before. Most of them haven't. They bought their house, they outgrew it, or they want to relocate. They're not professional sellers. So what you got to do is teach them what it is. And what I put down in here is, all right, we're closing and move to Florida. Picture the sale, like picture them moving, right? I also put down in here what makes me different. Like my social media reaches over 50,000 accounts, right? So I put that in there because it opens up communication of what the next thing I want to explain to people is my social media campaign and stuff like that for that. A lot of you guys may or may not know that I'm big on making videos. I do 2 to 5 videos a day. I didn't do a lot last week. We had stuff going on. But up until last week, you'll see I have 2 to 3 videos. And that's where I got a lot of my leads from. And that's where I get people here, because I'm like, listen, if I got you as a lead from my Instagram video, my TikTok video, my YouTube short, what I do is I take that and I tell them, hey, this is why you're going to use me to sell your house, because the way you found me is how I'm going to find your buyer. These are 5 benefits, right? And again, I don't just talk about me. I talk about the neighborhood sellers, because that's who I am. I'm a brand. The brand is you, right? So I talked about the neighborhood sellers. It also looks like we have a bigger organization than we really do, that we can get. If you don't get me, you'll get somebody else on my team, right? So better pricing, smoother home selling experience, more connection to the right people, better marketing, and fun. I am super full of energy. For people who don't know me, I'm sorry, but now you do, and you'll not forget how much energy I have. You want to walk into a listing presentation and walk out and say, holy shit, that guy is full of life. Make them remember who you are. Crack some jokes. Don't be so serious. Don't go and read what eye-catching yard signs. You have seen these sign writers. Our sign writers, don't read it. They can read. And I'll tell you this, half the shit that's in here, they're not going to read. They're going to leave it there. You're going to go over it, and they're going to read it later on. And that's what you want them to do. You want them to read this later on. So put that information on there. They're like, oh my God, yeah, that's right. Nico said that. That's right. That's what they said. So what I do is, like I said, my writers are different. So I'm going to broadcast how my writers are different, right? Open house. Now listen, guys, this is what I'm going to do. Actually, I'm going to do this so we can connect face to face. All right, so we can connect face to face. What I do for my open house, I'm all about structure, right? I've been a volunteer firefighter since 2005. One thing I learned in the fire service is structure. So I'm all about structure. For my open houses, I do everything up to a price range, right? Anything under $350,000, I can just basic always pick water bottles, a really small one, chips, and then call it a day. That's what I do. That's what I do for open house. Over $350,000 to $475,000, I do the same thing, those little Polish spring bottles, but now I'm also getting real bottles, the green ones, plastic ones. I get macaroons, and I do a cheese platter. Very simple. You get cheese, cut it up, get crackers. Now, this is outside of COVID, right? Now, anything over $475, I do champagne, I do Bellinis, right? I used to be in the restaurant business. Bellinis is probably the cheapest thing you can do, and you can use cheap champagne. So you get cheap bottle of champagne, right? A couple dollars. You get pomegranate juice. Pomegranate juice is super strong, and then what you do is you get whatever, strawberries, blueberries, blackberries, whatever's the cheapest thing at the produce store. Put a couple of them on the bottom of the flutes. You get the flutes at the dollar store. Put it up there. You have the macaroons. You have the cheese platter. Now look how fancy you are, right? People are gonna come in and remember that is what I do. And then after that amount, I get up to $575. I do sushi platter and so on and so forth. I just get a little bit more as I get higher experience. But that's what I do. It's a structure. I'm gonna let my client know this is what we're gonna do. And this is why I'm successful, and this is what I'm going to do, right? This is what you're going to get for my 6%. And that's one thing I never talk about. Okay, she's going to explain a little bit more in a little bit on that. All right, so let's go back to, let me see if there's. Am I talking too loud?
No.
Hey, hey. And it's auto zooming.
There we go.
All right, did you guys catch what I said? Do you guys need me to repeat any of that? Because I'll repeat it. All right, cool. So let me go back to share my screen, right? So I'm all about structure, and I'm telling these people what I'm doing, right? And I tell them I'm doing a targeted social media campaign. And I'm explaining that campaign, I'm gonna do it coming soon. And I tell people, I'm like, agents really don't like to come in soon because it really drives up attention and gets a lot of offers. But guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to do it anyway because I want to get you the most offers, right? So I say that. Then I talk about super high quality photos. And what I do is I tell all my clients how much I care about doing your super quality photos. And what I do is this. So let me see if I can go into Safari here. Yes, I can. Let's go and share the screen. All right, so I was doing this earlier. It worked out perfect. So click that. Click here. Press this X. Okay. Perfect. All right. Can they hear volume on this or no? Okay. So you guys can see my screen. So this is one of the videos I do. Oh no. Oh yeah. Actually, let me. Bigger day on one of my upcoming listings. But first. All right. So I tell people all the time. This is what I do. I have a stager, right? So what I do is, let's find that video. Listen, I do tons of videos, tons. Had like 1,300 views. Okay, here we go, 1,600 views. So what I do is I bring in. Remember that list that I got? Well, today's step 2. Let's see. Our stager will walk around the house with a client. She'll point out different things that should be removed, or she'll bring items in to give that home a better feel. Why do you ask? I make it such a big deal. Studies show that homes that are staged will make 17% more than homes that aren't. So my thing is that consultation better be free. I make sure you make the most money possible. The neighborhood sellers separated themselves from everybody else. Remember that list that I got? Well, today's. So that's one video I'll show them. Another video happened to be, I just put it up today, right? And today is a picture and video day on one of my upcoming listings. But first, let's get the area ready for these photos. Check them out. That's right. I bring that photo to all my listings when we take the pictures. I want to make sure the area is nice and clean. Here we are, clean up the front yard. We got to make sure every picture is super special. So that's what we do, a little bit different from your realtor. Give us a call. So what I do is I try to make that experience a little bit better, saying, hey, listen, I care. Oh, what the hell did I just do? Okay. I say how much I care about your photo experience. I want to make sure these photos are the best photos that you can get. There it is. Kat has been amazingly helpful. She's making me look good. Thank you, Kat. Just going to share the screen. So that's what I do. So I make sure that the experience is good and it's warming. So I show them videos. I'm going back and forth. I'm showing them videos. I'm doing the same thing like I'm showing you guys, like pretending you're the client, but I'm really kind of explaining myself too. The thing is, you don't want to have diarrhea of the mouth. Don't keep on talking. Don't keep on talking. Let them talk. Ask them questions and receive those answers and listen to those answers, right? So I just talk about how, hey, listen, I do free drone footage. Yes, my drone footage is free if we go on 6%, right? My super awesome experience is going to be, you get this level experience, you're going to get everything under the sun, right? But you're going to be paid the 6%. And I'm going to show you something if that percentage comes up, because rarely ever comes up, because I want people to end up talking. Like I always tell people, you put me in front of someone, they're going to fall in love with you. So we'll talk about commissions afterwards, after everything's said. Listen, you guys want to bring CMAs, super important, bring some CMAs. I do CMAs all the time before I bring it in, and I call them and I show them what your house is valued at. And I tell them, listen, this is the price we're going to market. And that brings us to the next page anyway. So the price is right. So I tell people, hey, listen, this is the price of the house that I recommend. Now they're going to say, listen, I want to sell for $475. The comps only show about $340, right? Listen, I'll put it for $475, but if we don't see really true traffic after a week and a half to 2 weeks, we're going to reduce the price. I have everything written, ready to go about the reducible price. This is something I learned from George when I first started, George Aviles, when I first started, and it works for me. Guys, utilize other agents in the office, man. They're all open books, and it's just foreign, like the information is just awesome. And just, use it for yourselves and see how it works for yourselves. So I tell them, like, listen, we want to make sure that the price is right. Like, we want to make sure you're offering the price on the market that makes sense. The house is worth 450 in this kind of market, it's going to go up. It's going to get bidded up, but don't go in at 475 because people are going to look at it like, hey, listen, it's not going to praise that much. We're not even going to take a shot in the dark. Don't kill your deal before it started and let your clients know. Guys, you want to walk into these listing presentations full of confidence. If you got to put some DMX on, you got to put some Elton John on, you got to put on Barry Manilow, whatever you got to listen to hype yourself up before you get into these listing presentations, do it. Get yourself full of that energy and use that energy because they're going to see it and they're going to feel it. And that vibes and all that stuff is going to help you. Now I talk about the open house. What I'm going to do for the open house. I door knock my open houses. You know why? The first open house I did, first client I got from it was from me knocking on the door. It was the guy's niece who wanted to move closer to the uncle. So you know what? I have a habit of superstitions, and it worked once. I'm going to do it every single time, right? Same thing when I do offers. I never do offers at a round number. I always do funky numbers. So this is the open house stuff, right? Now, this is how we end it, right? My promise and my values. You want to tell people what your values are, what your promises are, and let them hold you accountable to them, right? I tell people I am super transparent. I take away a lot of the stress. I'm a fire inspector. What I'll do is I'll walk the property before the house gets inspected for the fire cert. So I'll walk the property before the fire cert to make sure that they'll pass the fire certificate every single time because I'm a fire inspector. I'll do it for free. The thing is, I can't write the certificate to tell them so as they come in, right? I tell them transparency. I will tell you good, bad, and indifferent. I will give you all the news you need, right? People don't want to hear nothing. That's the worst thing as an agent, telling your client nothing because they're going to think that you're doing absolutely nothing. In the meantime, you're doing a whole bunch of stuff. And then I finish before I finish, these are right here. This is the neighborhood sellers family. Every one of my clients, it's all about building that relationship. Brian Foose was a FISBO, right? Not only did I sell his house, he bought a house, I sold his grandmother's house. Now I'm selling his father's house, which is coming up this week. This was a FISBO. Dr. Cohen, another FISBO. He was my very first listing I ever had. I went to Queens with my wife, and I said my wife was my assistant. I had a briefcase full of nothing. And I walked in, the guy goes, I'm gonna give you 3%. I got up and started walking out. Say, you wasted my time. I told him, you're wasting my time. I crossed over these 2 bridges to come to Queens. I'm not coming for 3%. And the list goes on, and I always end it with this, right? Trisha, Jersey City, Danny Neiman. I sold his smoke shop. I listed his father's smoke shop. He bought a home. Now Danny wants to sell that home that he bought. He wants to buy a house in Paramus, and now I'm selling his warehouse. And then I finally, this is you right here. This is you, Mr. Seller, Mrs. Seller. This is you, and this is going to be your experience for the next person who's going to read how great of a job. And these are everyone's quotes. This is what they wrote about me, and I put down this is what your experience is going to be. So I share that, right? And then this is the bottom line. I'm going to come in. I'm going to work harder than everybody else because everyone's going to say the same thing. I'm going to work harder. But why? Why? Just make sure they feel your energy. So I'm going to work harder than everybody else. And let's get started so we can get you to Florida. So that's my listing presentation. That is what I do at all my clients' appointments. Every appointment I have. Am I still sharing the screen or no? All right. So that's what I do. It's very straightforward. I'm at the house, I don't know, about 45 minutes, because obviously now I'm going to ask, what questions do you have? And then shut up. Shut up. Don't talk. Don't talk. Let them talk. What concerns do you have? And that's it. And before you get to the questions part, tell them, hey guys, I can have my media team here. Today's Tuesday. I can have them here tomorrow at 12 o'clock. Does that work for you? And wait. No, it doesn't work for you? Okay. I see on the schedule here 5 o'clock. So I have them here at 5 o'clock. You know what I'm doing? I'm already bringing people there. They feel obligated to go with you. This is the reason why the percentage never happens, never talks about. You know what? I have, I got a desk. I put my wallet in the desk over there. But one thing, if commissions comes up, always have 6 $5 bills, right? And you're going to show them what your 6% shows, right? Top 3, and you put the 6 bills on the table. Top 3 bills, you tell them, hey, this goes to the buyer's agent. I don't even see that. This right here, next bill goes to my broker. This part here, this bill here goes to marketing. And this one here is how I feed my family. So if they talk about commissions, you're trying to break it down and say, listen, there's only 2 things we can get rid of. My commission or marketing. And I have to feed my family. So we can cut down on marketing. Now listen, if they don't want to go with 6%, don't go 5.5%, don't go 5%. Okay, not a problem. How about 5.9, 5.87, 5.66, whatever it is. Don't go down to the next half a point. Go like a tenth of a point. It's a negotiation, right, guys? So let them negotiate you, but don't kill your commissions. Nah, don't kill your commissions. Just negotiate with them. You know, start high, let them start low, and you get to a number you're comfortable with. You know, so that's pretty much it. That's pretty much what my listing presentation's all about. Anybody got questions?
Yeah, can I shadow you?
Listen, I've asked. Just give me 1 second. Excuse me, guys. This one? I'm unmuted. Sorry, I was waiting for an important phone call. That's it. That wasn't it. Sorry about that. Yeah, I ask new agents all the time. Like, there's an agent in the Woodcuff Lake office that I met at an open house. I ask that agent all the time, like, hey, I'm going to do a listing presentation. You want to come? I had a buyer consult inside the training room, and there was agents. I'm like, hey, listen, you guys want to hang out, listen to me, talk to them, go ahead. Listen all you want. Absolutely. I don't know if I just had I have 4 listings coming into the market. So don't think I have anything ready, but if I do, I'll reach out to Beck. I'll ask Beck to see if he has any agents that want to come and join me for the listing presentation. You can come in. All right. I'm a big fan of cold calling. I think my niche is FSBOs. I mean, most of my listings were FSBOs. So, I think cold calling, do open houses. Don't be shy. The thing is, don't be shy. Pretend that you're putting a cape on and you're untouchable, right? Have this different persona. If you need to have a different persona to attack these situations, like I call it verbal judo. I learned that years ago that, listen, look at a situation. I walk into a house and if I see sports stuff, guess what my conversation is going through? It's going to be related to sports so they can find a way to connect with me. If I see nothing but cookbooks, guess what? I'm going to talk about selling your house as like building a recipe, right? You need to do the steps. You can't cut the cornstarch out and then fry the item because you'll never have that crisp, right? You try to find a way to connect with them. If there's a whole bunch of kids stuff all over the place, I tell them, hey, listen, I want to bring a stager in here. And the reason why I'm going to bring the stager in here is this all here works for us. I'm a parent too. I know this bin of toys works and that changing table right by the stairs works because, hey, I'm a parent. But I'm going to have my stager come in to kind of look around and see how we can really optimize the space and really make sure your home looks good and you want to connect with them. Just find a way to connect. So my answer to you, what's the best way to get listings? Do cold calling. Listen, I'm sure a lot of you guys are over 18, right? And a lot of you guys have been in the dating world, right? And I give this example out all the time. When I used to run restaurants, I used to tell this to all my servers. You're not going to go to a table and say, Or you're gonna go to a table and say, hey, do you want to get an alcoholic drink? And they say no, you're not gonna go to the next table and not offer the alcoholic drink, right? So if you're dating, I'm a guy and I want to buy a girl a drink, and she shuts me down, that her shutting me down is not gonna stop me from offering another girl a drink. So if you're cold calling and one person shuts you down, don't not call the next number because you got shut down once. You get shut down 20 more times. But you know what? It takes one person to say yes, and boom, it's a roller coaster. When it rains, it pours. Anybody have any questions? You can ask me verbally too. Yeah, so I'll reach out to Beck. If I'm going on a listen presentation, I'll go go to Beck. One thing I do, I'll tell you, I'm like, listen, I'll have you guys involved. I don't want you just sitting there. And listen, we'll talk. We'll talk. So you just, what things to say and not say, and because I want to make sure they feel the energy, but I don't want you just sitting there and be like, hey, why is this person sitting here? So we'll get you involved. I'll get you involved. And stuff like that. And it just one thing is just weird when you're just sitting in the corner, like, hey, what's that person sitting in the corner? So I definitely have you involved. The only thing is, if you're going to come with me, please be punctual. I'm super in top of punctuality. Like for me, if you're late, I won't call you again. I won't welcome you again because it's a bad impression to the listeners, the people listening. What other questions you guys got? All right. Well, listen, I'll send this over to Kat. I'll send you this. My presentation is done on Apple, so I'll send it to her as the template, like I guess not the PowerPoint, whatever the Apple version of PowerPoint is. So that's that. Kat. All right, so Kat's got it. Anybody who wants it, reach out to Kat. Or do you want me to do it? I volunteered you, but for no reason. Oh, you have it? Okay. I apologize. I didn't even ask you before I volunteered you.
That's okay.
Sorry.
I'll take it.
But listen, guys, even if you do you have any tips to win a bidding war for buyers? Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I'll share my screen one more time. You guys can use this if you guys want. How do I gotta go into here. Okay, how do let me go into here. Share. Okay, here we go. Share. Okay. All right, so absolutely I do. I have so many tips up my sleeve, right? Going to my YouTube channel. I do this all the time. I want people to remember us. That's gonna go off. All right, go into here, my channel. You know what? Forget about this. I just sent it to David earlier today. So I'm just going to show you that one. And I don't know how to shut this down now. I have everything here. Okay. I'm just talking to myself. Sorry about that, guys. What's going on? Sent. Here we go. Can you guys still see my screen or no? No? Maybe not.
You're gonna stop sharing at the top.
Stop sharing and start it again. I'm going to share my whole screen, so it's easier for me. All right, so I don't speak Greek. My first language is Italian. So this one here, I learned some Greek. I do summary videos to the clients. This offer here wasn't the highest offer. Matter of fact, it wasn't even over asking, but it made a good impression with the seller. Capimera. I'm Nico from the neighborhood sales team from Keller Williams. First and foremost, my clients were very impressed with what they saw at your home. And the fact that you let them go there twice to view it means volumes. Thank you very much. This is a video summary of my client's audit. So I just give them a video summary of it. And like I said, I find different things to connect with people. These people here, they were LSU fans. So you know what I did? I put LSU fight songs in it. So. Good afternoon, Mr. and Mrs. Babin and family. My name is Nico Attanasio. I'm from the neighborhood sellers team from Keller Williams. This is a video summary of my clients, Danny, Danielle, and their children's offer for your home. Now, before I get to the offer, I just want to say one thing. When Danny and Danielle walked into your homes, so like I try to like find a way to connect with them. Like this was the one I sent them today. The guy was a stamp collector, right? A stamp collector. So what I made it look like a stamp, a special message. I made it look like a stamp. The guy was in his 80s. So who doesn't like Frank Sinatra? Nico from neighborhood sellers team from Keller Williams. This is a video summary of my clients, Danny and Danielle, and their children's offer for your beautiful home. Before I speak about the offer, I just want to share one story with you. As we walked into your home, I looked at Danny and Danielle's face, and it just opened up. As a realtor, we figured out that it is the sign of them saying that this is our next home. They mentioned it, the home was just like an 1847 5-cent Benjamin Franklin stamp, a one of a kind. So I do these things so they remember the offer. Now, this one here, the Greek one was accepted. The Babin one was accepted, but it fell out after attorney review. And the same client has sent it to this one here. Maria was accepted, but she walked away. These are the ones that got accepted. Another thing I do is I buy cameos. I buy cameo, and I had the LSU one. I had an LSU football player talk my clients up and tell my clients, give them a good word. So that's what I do. But the thing is, this is what works for me. You got to see what works for you. Like I'm all about videos. I post a shitload of videos. So I'm all about videos. Nobody does videos. Everyone's doing letters. They see my face, and guess what I do is I also, first I take my glasses off so you can see my eyes, and I look around. Like, thank you. Yeah, they really like your house. Change the tone of voice. That's what I do. So they connected. The one that was Greek, there wasn't even over asking. There was 2 offers over asking. My clients got theirs accepted under asking. So that's what works for me. Again, you have to see what works for you, but this is what works for me. Anybody else have anything else? All right. Yeah, I do. I have an appointment at 3:30. But hey guys, no, it's not showing. I know I do notary closings. I do closings like as a notary. So I'm doing a closing up in Parsippany. So I'm heading off to Parsippany now. But guys, if you have any questions, call me. There you go. I'll show you. Call me. Here's my information. Call me. All right. There it is. If you want to call my assistant, that's my assistant. Right? You got. Yeah, she'll come to the office every so often, but call me. That's my information. Give me a call. Oh, I don't even think I'm sharing this. But anyway, 201-206-466. Oh, you know what? 856-TEAM-TNS. That's my hotline. 856-TEAM-TNS. So give me a call, text me, whatever you need to do.